Okay, what are we doing here? Well, he is threatening this nastiness, which is a forced checkmate. Knight checks, king in the corner, queen takes rook as mate. You got to make a check. The obvious move is here. We are two minors. We're down a rook. So rook f7 check seems to be the obvious move. The other obvious move would be knight checks, and then knight takes queen. Still, this is a real pain in the butt. Absolute pain in the butt. We could knight check this guy. Well, what about queen checks? He can go here or there. We also have queen c6. I don't really care for this in general. I like this fence queen idea. This bishop is good as well. This queen checks here. Rook checks. He gets to go knight back with a check. And I do not like that. It does get us out of a checkmate, but he gets to go back defensively. I don't like that at all. Knight checks. And just take queen. He really can't do anything with this knight. I'm just going to go here, and he comes back. Rook takes knight. So we're down a rook for a. We're just down a rook. Period. Not for anything. So we take this queen. Check. King to here. Knight takes. He can do whatever he wants. King takes whatever. That looks good enough. This check. I don't have anything here. Well, I don't know. Check, king e5, queen checks here, king back to f6. That doesn't really do anything for me. Check, king to f6. I don't have, again, I just don't have anything. So queen checks here. Oh, king e5, queen takes pawn check. Not bad, but he's got king to d6. He's escaping. He looks to be escaping. Super difficult. Because I'm looking at this line here. Queen checks. King to e5. Queen checks. Now he can just interpose his queen. And that pretty much ends the whole deal. My thinking is that he doesn't have anything. I don't have anything, on dark squares for this knight to take. So it's like, I'm just going to take this. He could check me, king here, and then knight takes if he wants to. Yeah, I'm still kicking your butt. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to take this. I can't do anything about it. Don't care. I mean, the thing about this is very important. The sword of Damocles with this threatened discovered check. But to become a good player, you have to visualize, well, he can't go anywhere that's valuable. We know he's going to take this back. That's fine. I don't care. I have a queen and you have a rook. You lose, buddy. That's just the way it is. And after he does this, I'm threatening to hammer him with like queen takes g7 check and trying to work a fork. I got a rook on this knight already, and I'm abusing his king. So I'm thinking my queen gives me a great opportunity to fork and win this knight as well. So, he would take this. In fact, instead of just checking him, I would just queen takes pawn check. All right. Where are you going to go, Bobby Fischer? Because I got a rook ready to be unleashed. You in trouble. But the key point is, I looked at the checkmate idea. It failed. Queen f7. He just gets away. I don't have the right guys. And I could not play rook e1 check because knight e4 discovered check is a devastating move. So I was like, you know what? Just take the queen, stupid. If this isn't good enough, I need to see it. It was good enough. My visualization was correct. You've got to trust yourself. There's an old line. The only one I trust is me. All right? Do with that as you will. Oh! All righty then. What is going on? Well, look. What's he trying to do to me is pretty obvious. Why would he give me this bishop? That's the stupidest looking move, isn't it? The point is, king takes bishop, and he's going to push h5 and queen this. Because this king gets in the way of the bishop coming back to defend. So it's like king takes bishop. I really don't think I have a choice. The choice is either take it or play king to here. And this would stop the pawn by the king. All right? But can we take the bishop? I'm greedy. All right? You know, my dad is like, I want to take your bishop. But we're going to use the value. We're going to use visualization because I'm greedy, but I'm not stupid. There's a difference. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being greedy. If you can combine not being stupid and greedy, that means you're going to be rich. So, let's say king takes bishop, h5. We got 3 more moves to stop him. How about bishop to here? That's 1. h6. 2. h7. 3. You lose. I'm greedy, and I'm not stupid. And because I'm not stupid, I see that it takes me 1, 2, 3 moves to get to position to stop your pawn. Thanks for the, as my father would say, king takes free bishop. Boink, boink, boink. Thank you. I cannot think of a greater problem to demonstrate the value of visualization. So thank you, chess.com, for giving me the greatest helper I could have imagined as a gift. King takes free bishop is, of course, the default gut reaction. But when you have visualization like I'm teaching you guys, it's candy, easy money. It's just a counting. It's a counting exercise. 1, 2, 3. Takes him 4 to get there. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. You lose, buddy. 4. Thanks for the free queen. Next. Okay, what are we doing here? Now, the thing that, when I look at this, let's count the material first. I got a rook, he's got 2 rooks, so we're down in exchange. We have a knight, he's got a rook. He's also got pawns. 2 more, he's got a rook and 2 pawns against my knight, essentially. But let's look at this king. This king just looks very, very in danger. Okay? The obvious move. It's a very good move too, actually. But there's a problem with this move. Oh, look at this. He's attacking my rook, that jerkweed. I wanted to play knight takes pawn because it looks like it threatens a checkmate. Because it guards this. Oh, this square is guarded by the bishop, so that's great. Well, you're getting check. Well, isn't this is close to a checkmate? That is a checkmate. No, not a checkmate because he's got king takes a5. That's the dealio. Well, it doesn't look like I have a better move than that. Rook takes. So here's the idea. Rook checks, king to a5. And now he looks like he's in a trap. That knight takes d5 threatens to checkmate him. Guards the rook, so it keeps his fence rook alive. There's another possibility that rook checks, king takes, rook takes here, but he gains this escape square. So we're going to play this. This is the obvious move. Now I'm looking at this move here, followed by the idea is this. Now, if I go knight here, he can pin this. But the question I'm looking for, and I see this move, knight takes here, and I'm threatening this. With the knight guarding the rook, that is a checkmate. How do you stop it? In fact, as my father would say, what are you going to do now, Bobby Fischer? Yeah, that's what I thought. Boom. I think that pretty much speaks for itself. Boom is the correct word. So, unstoppable checkmate is what knight takes pawn. Now, knight takes pawn is a very greedy looking move, but when you're looking for actual checkmate, like I showed you, bishop to b6, it's an unstoppable checkmate. It's what I saw, and that's the key. I invented the phrase, an unstoppable checkmate, as a tactical description of this type of scenario. So, it speaks for itself. Well, I could play knight back. He would just do it again. So that doesn't get me anywhere. So I need to go somewhere. I need to either go king to d7, which is the natural move. But I'm looking at this now. This might be the move that wins his queen. Because the problem is he's under a double attack. And the double attack is I'm threatening a checkmate. I'm threatening rook takes rook checkmate. I'm threatening rook takes queen. Now, he could play queen takes rook, and then I can play queen takes queen, rook takes queen, rook takes rook, and I'm still threatening a checkmate. So what is the situation? We're up in material. He's got queen and rook here. That means I got a rook bonus. Knight, I'm up in exchange. So king to f6 takes, rook takes, threatening a checkmate. He's got to defend that checkmate. And now, what do I do after that? He could just play a simple move like g3 or h3, and there's no checkmate. Which is, that's all good. I can't win a piece, but I can go knight takes pawn. This just looks winning to me. This just looks completely winning. It's completely winning. This is another example of visualization. What does visualization do? It eliminates fear. Okay, fear of the unknown. There isn't any unknown. This was not a difficult visualization. Let's look at this. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move visualization. And I evaluated this inside of this hat as winning for black. Computer agrees, winning for black. I don't need that computer to tell me this is winning for black. And that's the secret. You're playing in a tournament and you're like, well, is this winning for black? It's what, I would be doing this and I would visualize this position and go, well, I got 6 pawns, he's got 6 pawns, I own the only file, and I have the only rook. You are in major league trouble. Now, you can play, several different moves. F3, I'm going to take this pawn. He has to defend the checkmate. There's a checkmate threat. So I have the momentum going at the end of this combination. I still have a threat he has to defend. He can't move his king. So he could play F3 if he wanted to. He could play knight to f3. That stops the checkmate. He could play bishop here, does not stop the checkmate. He could play g3, h3, whatever. And if he stops the checkmate, like, for example, saying, h3. I don't know. Let's just say h3 or g3. Well, that stops the checkmate, and I just get knight takes pawn, and I'm going to take another pawn if he doesn't do something about it. That's what it boils down to. Or I could check him first. He comes up here. And then take the pawn. The infiltration of the rook is killing. So you have to develop your internal evaluation. And you don't want to hope that you're winning. You hope to a degree, but you have to go, well, I got to look at this and figure this out for myself. It's winning for black. And the computer now helps me because in this practice session of training, it says I'm correct. Good enough for me. Oh, brother, what is going on here? 2 knights, you got 2 minor pieces, 2 rooks, and a queen, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is dead even materially. We do have a move off the top of my head that he can't do much about, and that's queen to b6. Is this the right move? I don't know. Maybe. Queen checks. He can't put a piece there. We're also threatening. Yeah, this is probably the move because we're threatening rook takes free bishop. He's threatening. This is not really a threat. Okay, knight takes knight. This is guarded and no problem. So it looks like check is the obvious move. He could play rook to here, or he could play queen to here. It actually would be less. I don't know. He's just screwed, dude. This is winning. This is just winning. This just looks winning of rook takes free bishop. We've just sidestepped his threat. He doesn't have jack. Wow. Okay. But you see, I have this move because I'm paying attention. What are you going to do, Bobby Fischer? At some point, he's going to run out of the ability to mess with my pieces, okay? Well, this looks like a win to me. Now, to be honest, technically, I should have really looked hard at this, but for purposes of education in this situation, it's not a big deal. My spidey senses are telling me I'm winning, okay? And my spidey senses were winning this from this moment. This is just one of those things you develop over time, okay? I'm just winning this. So even if this wasn't winning here, I'm not losing, which is the key. So I can go into this worst case scenario, I get my rook out of there, and we're good. But this is just, I've got c2 as my backup square, and now I'm going to escape with my free material. I'm going to play knight takes knight. You can't move this knight because I checkmate you. If you don't trade queens, you got to deal with the fact of a removal of defender, rook takes knight with a checkmate coming. So, goodbye, Charlie. Yeah, like I said, technically, I should have gone through and really spent 10 minutes doing it, but that's boring. You don't want to see this here. No one wants that here, so we're not doing that. In a tournament, I would do that. Okay, that's the difference. You have to understand this is training. And in training, you're going to do some things. We're working on your general game, but in this kind of a display of training, you don't want me to sit there for 10 minutes looking at that because no one wants that.